Hi, I'm Lee Burkeen with Louisiana Football TV Magazine. We have a great lineup tonight. Great coaches. We've got the new head football coach for Southeastern Lions, their offensive coordinator, their defensive coordinator. You'll have a chance to meet them later on in the show. We also have St. Thomas More High School head coach Jim Hightower and Shane Savoy, one of the top assistant coaches at St. Thomas More in Lafayette. We also have Aileen with Park Lane Boutique here in Baton Rouge and Lafayette. We'll talk about some of the clothing that involves some LSU colors, and also she'll have some UL colors too for Lafayette. We'll see you when we come back. We'll be back in just a moment. We'll welcome your phone calls. We'll see you in just a moment.
A sports injury can put you out of action. But your game's not over because you drafted the right team. At the Bone and Joint Clinic, you're treated by experts in sports medicine, experienced therapists and staff, and the latest equipment and services in a comfortable environment where you're treated like family. Because we want to see you suit up again. The Bone and Joint Clinic.
Hi, I'm Joe Martin, president of ITI Technical College. And for over 35 years, ITI has been a leader in technical education here in Baton Rouge.
ITI's medical division offers hands-on training in 3 new medical programs: medical billing and coding, medical management, and medical assistant. ITI offers flexible class schedules, and financial aid is available.
So let ITI help you discover a better life. Call now or go online. It's that simple.
ITI for a better life.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat everyone from long drivers to unlucky drivers. Now with 7 locations to serve you. If your doctor recommends physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name. The physical therapy choice of golfers, injured drivers, and everyone in between.
If you're looking for the gear you need in the colors you bleed, then make your first stop Co-op. Much more than just a bookstore. Co-op has the largest selection of LSU merchandise for the whole family, including tailgating supplies, LSU clothing and accessories, great gifts, and a whole lot more. Stop in or order online for the best prices on art supplies, school supplies, and textbooks. The Co-op Bookstore, where you'll always find the gear you need in the colors you bleed.
As a designer here at Bassett, I've helped all kinds of people find the custom furniture they really want. Beautiful fabrics and leathers? Got 'em. A choice of finishes? Sure. The best color combos? No problem. Whatever you're looking for, I can help you find it, and we'll have it ready in 30 days. Custom furniture from Bassett. It's a great way to make your home your own.
Papa John's Pizza, great sponsor of our show. We appreciate their sponsorship. They feed our staff and our guests every week. They have a Lent special right now of $11 for Lent. Be sure to call Papa John's Pizza, all their locations. They're big supporters of high school football and college football in Louisiana. Michelle Ravelet does a great job, the marketing director. Our first guest is a friend of mine, an advertiser of our show, Aileen, who lives here in Baton Rouge, but she has a store in Lafayette, which is very close to Louisiana of Lafayette College and St. Thomas More High School. And she has a store off of Highland Road in Baton Rouge called Park Lane Boutique. It's a nice store. It's got clothing lines of clothes that you can't find just anywhere. You do a great job of traveling the world finding clothes for people, and I'm glad to have you finally on the show.
Thank you, Lee. It's lovely to be here. Lovely to be here.
You know, I want to go ahead and ask you a football question, because every time we bring an advertiser on, just about everybody that comes on the show is a sports fan. You're from England, and I've asked you this several times off the air, but you like football. You didn't know a lot about football in England, right? I mean, compared to the United States, it was more soccer in England.
Well, in England, it's soccer. here you call football with the shoulder pads and the helmets. When I moved here 22 years ago, I literally stood there and went, what on earth are they doing? Now I watch the LSU games by myself in my house so I can jump and scream at the TV as well. So I'm just as bad as everybody else here.
You know the game yet, or are you still learning the game?
I'm learning the game, but I'm pretty decent at understanding it, yeah.
Quarterback, what's a quarterback?
Oh, don't. That's the one that's the one that starts off with the ball.
Okay. Now, boxing's big in where you're from. Your dad was a boxer.
My dad used to box for England and Scotland. He was the light heavyweight champion in '67. So yeah, he's a big guy.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You brought some of your clothes on the show tonight. I want to mention this. You have purple and gold for LSU fans here in Baton Rouge, and you have red for Louisiana Lafayette Raging Cajun fans at your Lafayette store.
Oh, look, make no mistake, you know, they still buy purple and gold in Lafayette, but when I go to market, when I go to New York, I specifically buy the great red for Lafayette for my customers, whether it's bags or T-shirts or dresses, and I buy the purple and gold for the Baton Rouge shop. So yeah, I shop specifically for both locations.
And tell them, I mean, how long will you stay in New York? I know moms watch the show, and they love this segment because you have all these clothes and shoes and stuff I don't really know much about, but like most men, but the wives of recruits and moms and aunts and uncles that watch this, you spend a lot of time trying to find your clothing line when you're away in New York and overseas.
I think what the ladies and the girls wear to the game is just as important for the women as the football is to the guys. I mean, they love to look different. They like to wear the colors of the football team. They want to wear something that hopefully nobody else has, which makes my job more challenging, but I love that. I like to find things that they can't find in any other boutique here. So whether I pick it up from Spain or London, I try and find specifically red T-shirts or dresses or tops or bags, something different that they can't find at another boutique throughout, you know, Baton Rouge or Lafayette.
And men, they don't take but maybe 5 minutes to find their favorite shirt to put on at a game, right?
Well, now, you know, I had the gold Donald Plyners. Remember that Ruffin had, and I gave some to some of the players that, you know, they're friends of mine. But yeah, absolutely, some of the guys do like to wear the gold shoes to the game, so they're not so quiet.
Speaking of shoes, these are for females. Want to zoom in here and the shoes that you brought for the moms that are watching tonight. But tell us about the shoes.
Well, this is one line that I carry. I'm really a big supporter of empowering women and backing women. This is a really good friend of mine, Dee Keller, who's a local from Baton Rouge. She has just designed her own line from Italy. They're made there, and obviously, you know, if you're up in, you know, the booth, then you want to wear the heels with the dress. If you're in the suites, if you're down on the, you know, on the floor and you've been out partying all day long, you're going to wear the flats. So literally, I try and think of every level of the game, whether it's T-shirts, shorts, dresses. I think I've got everybody covered.
And you have a dress here. You have a mannequin with a dress.
I have.
Talk about this.
This is a Haley Bob. This was one that went to the championship game. It was one that I kept for myself, but literally we couldn't keep enough of the purple and the golds in, so it was easy.
Tell everybody, again, I want everybody to know where you are. You've got Baton Rouge. Tell them about your address in Baton Rouge.
Okay, so my Baton Rouge shop is on Highland Road, right as if you pass Blue Bayou, and I'm right before the railroad tracks on the left-hand side, and I have there everything from, you know, jeans to shorts to T-shirts to flat shoes to heels to $4,000-$5,000 evening gowns. So we basically have everything covered in one location for all ages.
And your Lafayette store, that's pretty new.
My Lafayette shop is beautiful. It's my baby right now. I drive every day. My clients up there are just so supportive and so genuine and so nice. I'm excited to be there. They love the red. They love all the new lines that I'm carrying. I'm just so grateful and so blessed to be there.
And you're thinking of having a house in Lafayette and Baton Rouge, right?
Yeah, you've got to. You got to, right?
What I like about Aileen is that, you know, she's so personable, as you've noticed, with people. and you know people for 20 years when they meet you. I mean, you've never met a stranger.
Well, I think it's what we lack now. I think it's genuine customer service. It's not about just buying one product. It's about me getting to know you, seeing what you need, helping you cover what you don't like, and really finding out what you want rather than just selling you something. So it's building a relationship up, and to me, that's as important as it is the sales.
Well, I'm glad we finally got you on the show to promote your company and also talk about how you got started. And what brought Aileen to the United States is that you were a chef.
I was.
Once
indeed.
upon a time, right?
I was indeed. I actually was a saucier chef. I specialized in meats and poultry, like beef Wellington and lobster thermidor, and moved to New Orleans as a chef, and moved up to Baton Rouge after Hurricane Katrina. And Hurricane Katrina actually was a good thing for me, because my life has been so good, and I'm so grateful for where I am right now.
And that's how you ended up in Baton Rouge,
That's how I ended up in Baton Rouge. Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate you being a supporter of our show, Aileen, and want to get all those moms in your store.
All the mums and the daughters and the grandmothers. We've got arm coverage, we've got nice little t-shirts.
And the husbands to buy gifts.
And the husbands should come and buy gift certificates.
Okay, Aileen, thank you.
Thank you, Lee, I appreciate it.
We're going to go ahead and take a break, and when we come back, we're going to have St. Thomas More head coach Jim Hightower and Shane Savoy, assistant coach from St. Thomas More in Lafayette when we come back.
A sports injury can put you out of action. But your game's not over because you drafted the right team. At the Bone and Joint Clinic, you're treated by experts in sports medicine, experienced therapists and staff, and the latest equipment and services in a comfortable environment where you're treated like family. Because we want to see you suit up again. The Bone and Joint Clinic.
Hi, I'm Joe Martin, president of ITI Technical College. And for over 35 years, ITI has been a leader in technical education here in Baton Rouge.
ITI's medical division offers hands-on training in 3 new medical programs: medical billing and coding, medical management, and medical assistant. ITI offers flexible class schedules, and financial aid is available.
So let ITI help you discover a better life. Call now or go online. It's that simple.
ITI for a better life.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat everyone from long drivers to unlucky drivers. Now with 7 locations to serve you. If your doctor recommends physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name. The physical therapy choice of golfers, injured drivers, and everyone in between.
If you're looking for the gear you need in the colors you bleed, then make your first stop Co-op. Much more than just a bookstore. Co-op has the largest selection of LSU merchandise for the whole family, including tailgating supplies, LSU clothing and accessories, great gifts, and a whole lot more. Stop in or order online for the best prices on art supplies, school supplies, and textbooks. The Co-op Bookstore, where you'll always find the gear you need in the colors you bleed.
As a designer here at Bassett, I've helped all kinds of people find the custom furniture they really want. Beautiful fabrics and leathers? Got 'em. A choice of finishes? Sure. The best color combos? No problem. Whatever you're looking for, I can help you find it, and we'll have it ready in 30 days. Custom furniture from Bassett. It's a great way to make your home your own.
Back, I'm Lee Burkeen, host of Louisiana Football TV magazine. I'm about to introduce one of the legendary coaches of Louisiana currently, Jim Hightower, the head coach of St. Thomas More in Lafayette. Has done a wonderful job for several years coaching St. Thomas More with 350 wins, which is in the top. I know Shane Savoy, his assistant coach, will probably agree with him. It's in the top 5 of current Louisiana coaches. I think top 2 behind J.T. Curtis of John Curtis High School.
He's actively the second winningest coach
in the state. And Jim, a California native, but has been a transplant for now how many years, Jim?
Since 1974, so that's That's quite a few years that I've lived in Louisiana. And
long time.
Yeah.
And I remember you started, when you came on the show about a year ago, you started your coaching in New Roads.
In New Roads at Catholic Point Capee, right.
And we've always mentioned how Dale Weiner was the head coach there.
Dale actually started as an assistant with me at Catholic Point Capee, as did Gary Atkins, who's now the head coach at St. Martinville.
St. Martinville, yeah. And getting into that, you have one of the toughest schedules every year, in my opinion, in high school football in the state. People talk about West Monroe and Neville and Ouachita and that district and area, Richwood, those schools. And you go to New Orleans and you look at Brother Martin and Jesuit, Archbishop Rummel, the talent St. Aug. But when you get into Lafayette, people tend to not, outside of Lafayette, they tend to not understand and appreciate, like someone like me would, that films teams in your area, the competition in your district and the amount of teams every year that end up deep in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, we've got some fierce competition in our district, and you know, this past year we moved down from 5A into 4A, but it didn't get any easier. You know, our district was very competitive. We had really all of the teams in our district would have made the playoffs had Northside not had to forfeit games for an ineligible player. So we would have had every team in our district in the playoffs, and you know, that would have been a very unusual feat.
It's amazing, I mean, with Acadiana in the district, and teams that aren't in a district that you end up playing during the season, like a Northside, like you said, where Keelan Williams went.
Oh, yeah.
You look at Karen Crow, who had one kid sign with Miami this year, Jacoby Briscoe, one signed with McNeese, the running back Johnson, and then their quarterback Jalen Nixon signed with Louisiana Lafayette.
Right.
And I remember people in the other parts of the state saying, well, Karen Crow's not that good. They just lost to Acadiana. But you can't go by that. I mean,
no,
if you see the whole district play.
There's competition week in, week out. Anybody can beat anybody, really. You know, you've got to be good every week or you're going to get beat.
And a compliment to you, Coach, is that Cecilia High School, for an example, didn't have a Cecilia normal year, but a good team every year.
Very good team.
And
St. Martinville, very young. You know, Gary's done a really good job getting that group excited. Very young team, but very competitive. You know, and you had to play to beat them.
And Bro Bridge, I mean, you know, 6 kids signed D1 off of one team, and 6 are coming back D1.
Oh, they're very talented, and their coaches do a great job preparing them. So, you know, definitely a challenging matchup.
You don't ignore the competition. You've played Evangel Christian in the past.
We've had some great games with Evangel. It's been a real good series that we've had with Evangel.
You've scheduled Catholic High, Baton Rouge.
We had good series with Dale and the Bears, right? You know, I've been excited with our competition with Sulphur for several years, and now we've gotten back with Barb again. Some good games with them, you know. And then we played Zachary and Central here in the Baton Rouge area.
Yeah, the schedule's unbelievable.
And then
Park
you're
View
out of
Baptist.
district and in district playing Westgate.
Yeah, Westgate's been real good competition.
Who made the schedule?
Well, I mean, you know, some of it is, you know, it just happens, you know, and I think playing good people makes you better, you know, and it gets you ready, and I think our kids look forward to the challenge. I think it gives them something to work toward in the off season, you know. So, you know, the first year when we really stepped up our schedule, I thought it was a little unfair for our kids, but now they've grown into that schedule, and you know, I think it makes us a better football team.
And what's amazing is that, again, people outside of Lafayette, I mean, I've watched Westgate a few times. They had 4 kids signed this year, 7, 3 to junior colleges. Westgate made the final 8. You know, like in basketball, you had the final 4, final 6, but they made the final 8 3 years in a row in the playoffs. They've been 2 games away from the Dome 2 years in a row and defeated Dutchtown in 0-10.
Yeah.
They sent Dutchtown packing early in 0-10 at Dutchtown.
They've had a great run, and you know, Brian does a great job over there with his kids. He really gets them to play, and he's such a good guy. He loves football, and you know, Westgate. God, I love playing them because they make you play.
We're going to take a break, Coach, and then I'm going to let Shane get in on the conversation. We're going to talk about your players, former players, that are currently playing at colleges in Louisiana, outside of Louisiana, and we'll talk about some of the kids and how they're doing today. And then after that, we'll talk about your 2012 team coming up. You have a talented quarterback coming up, another good team, and we'll talk about the team coming up for spring. You're watching Louisiana Football TV Magazine.
If you're looking for the gear you need in the colors you bleed, then make your first stop Co-op. Much more than just a bookstore. Co-op has the largest selection of LSU merchandise for the whole family, including tailgating supplies, LSU clothing and accessories, great gifts, and a whole lot more. Stop in or order online for the best prices on art supplies, school supplies, and textbooks. The Co-op Bookstore, where you'll always find the gear you need in the colors you bleed.
State Farm agents Joe Skabinski in Baton Rouge and Tommy DeSormo in Lafayette are there for you. Call today.
Hi, I'm Joe Martin, president of ITI Technical College. And for over 35 years, ITI has been a leader in technical education here in Baton Rouge. Our commitment is to help people just like you attain a better life through technical training.
Get hands-on real-life training in one of 9 career areas with flexible class schedules, and financial aid is available.
So let ITI help you discover a better life. Call now or go online. It's that simple.
ITI for a better life. Have you made the right call?
I made the right call.
It's easy to do. Just touch the tones.
I made the right call.
If you want to talk to the pros, you've got to make the right call.
I made the right call.
It's not that kind of call. I'm talking about the professionals at Gage Telephone. From excellent products like Toshiba to great service after the sale, make the right call. Gage Telephone, 753-4243.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat everyone from Grand Slam hitters to grandparents. Now with 7 locations to serve you. If your doctor recommends physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, the physical therapy choice of baseball players, grandparents, and everyone in between.
College football notes. I'm actually going to tie this in with Coach Jim Hightower's former players. Great players playing currently in college football. At Tulsa, they have a receiver playing there. We're going to mention his name. We're going to kind of go a little fast because this is not a long segment. But LSU, Ben Domain. Tulane, they have 4 players, actually 5 now, at Tulane from St. Thomas More. UL has players from St. Thomas More. We'll talk about them. Northwestern State has Tucker Nims and another kid, Brandon Monroe, I believe, a receiver. And also, McNeese State has several players from St. Thomas More. And we'll go ahead and, since we're talking about that, I'll go to Coach Shane Savoy, and we'll talk about some of those players. This past recruiting class, let's start there. The current guys that signed, Matthew Flores
to Northwestern State. I think they're going to start him off as a tailback and kind of move him around. They've told him that he's going to play a little Wildcat quarterback, which is what he did for us, but he's just a phenomenal athlete. And he's in a little frame. He's 5'9", 5'8", but I can tell you he's one of the largest football players we've ever had.
And in space, I loved how athletic he was and his juking ability to, and his toughness between the tackles.
Catches the ball so well.
He just does the little things well.
Jordan Murray signed with McNeese as a tight end, but this big kid, 6'3", 265, might end up being the next Dan Gay maybe on the O-line.
Yeah, he's just a big athlete, and that's a unique thing about Jordan is he's big, but he's athletic. So coming off the ball, putting his hands on somebody, he can play tight end, he can play tackle, he can turn around, he can play defensive end, defensive tackle. He's he's a unique talent in his ability to get his hands on somebody and drive them off the line.
And Coach, you had a late bloomer offensive tackle signed with McNeese, who's now 285 pounds.
Yeah, Will McMillan, he's
6'4", 6'5".
I think he's going to be a real steal for the Cowboys. You know, I think they're going to be real excited to have him playing for them.
Wasn't he the second steal for McNeese as an O-lineman from STM?
Jonathan Landry, who you know, really did a fine job for him and will be a senior next year with the Cowboys. So.
And he was kind of a late bloomer,
and
too.
Both their stories are very similar. Jonathan and Will, their stories are very much the same. They're late bloomers. They both had really good grades, which got them the look. And once they got in there, they've just flourished.
And just hard-nosed, dedicated kids, you know, and kind of Ben Domain cut in the same cloth. We can take Chris Fisher, another offensive lineman.
From a walk-on,
who walked on, played, and, you know, just tough and liked to play the game, and they couldn't get him out of the lineup, you know. And then this year, Andre Huval stepped in and took Chris Fisher's spot, you know, after he left. So
2 centers back-to-back from STM at
That's
UL.
right.
And that's at UL.
Both played as freshmen.
You got Cooper, who's at UL, a DB from STM.
That's right.
Transfer from Northwestern in the Big Ten.
Right.
He's a big kid, too. He's a big safety prospect.
He's a very talented kid, hard hitter, boy. He likes to hit.
Tulane, you have Sam Schofield, a DB that played as a true freshman last year.
And Sam is a tremendous football player. Just such a smart kid. You know, he probably was like a coach on the field when he played for us as a senior. And, you know, he studied film. He's a fierce competitor and could do everything. Multi-talented. I mean, we needed a punter. And he became an all-state punter.
Yeah.
Became an all-state punter. So.
And Casey Stelly, the fullback at Tulane from STM.
I think he's finishing up his senior year next year, but I guess he kind of started the pipeline there. Since then, we've sent 4 more guys to Tulane, and it's been good to have him there.
Brandon Smith, a preferred tops walk-on linebacker, 5'8", 220. The tight end, Tadford, 6'5", 240, who played as a freshman last year also for Tulane.
And Cameron Dejean.
Who's grown into about 220 pounds.
Yeah. That's right. I think he's going to end up being a linebacker out there for him. Huh?
Yeah.
Kids, play college ball out of your program, Coach. You know, I remember one of your first players we talked about off the air, Luke Lawton. Fullback with the Raiders for a little bit and some couple other NFL teams.
Luke started as a wide receiver, and he'll always tell you that he was a wide receiver, you know. But he also has the notoriety of scoring the very first touchdown in Cougar Stadium. So he scored on a screen pass against Northwestern when we opened the stadium in 1998.
And John Corbello, kicker, I'll never forget watching this kid in a rainstorm. Coach, you remember the game in New Iberia at a middle school?
That's right. Yeah, he could,
5 inches of water. And
well, he kicked 62 yards in a jamboree game against Acadiana. So
okay, at LSU, he kicked at LSU, and also Javon Walker. You can't forget about Javon Walker, your former receiver. And Shane, you want to tell that story about Javon signed with Louisiana Tech out of STM as a receiver, junior college, ended up going to Florida State.
Well, he also had baseball in there as well. He
played for the Marlins organization, I think.
I think he started playing baseball his junior year in high school and got drafted out of high school, and he went that route and then came back to junior college and then ended up finding his way to Florida State, and next thing you know, he's getting drafted. I mean,
yeah, you know, there's a kid that really, you know, he had a lot of desire because, you know, it would have been easy for him to get lost in the shuffle there.
Yeah.
He was going to junior college while he was in the minor league organization, and, you know, did it for 2 years, made himself eligible to go to Florida State, and then it all happened for him after that.
The other player I want to mention off your 011 team this past year, Andrew Stevenson, your receiver that signed with LSU for baseball, had a phenomenal year as a wideout this past year for you in your offense.
Great athlete, and you know, Andrew's a fierce competitor, so I think, you know, hopefully he'll have the same success at LSU baseball that Mikey Matuk did.
Mikey, I still think would be in the NFL as a pro football player like you do.
I think
Shane.
so too. I'll tell you what, he was a great quarterback.
Him and Rocky Selfo were 2 of my favorite DBs from your program that went baseball over football. This spring, I'll say this coming, but we're in spring, but we're going to talk about that. We're going to come back one more segment. After this segment, we have the new head football coach for Southeastern Lions, Ron Roberts, who came over from Delta State. His offensive, defensive coordinators, we're going to introduce them too. But when we come back after this break, we're going to talk about the 012 St. Thomas More team and and some of the top players for this coming season for STM.
Louisiana Office Supply is the largest stocking office product store in the South with a new 23,000 square foot showroom. For over 72 years, Louisiana Office Supply has met the demand for quality office products competitively priced with an extensive selection and knowledgeable staff. From office furniture to Post-it notes, there are supplies for every part of your office. Louisiana Office Supply, generation after generation, exceptional service since 1936.
Have you made the right call?
I made the right call.
It's easy to do. Just touch the tones.
I made the right call.
If you want to talk to the pros, you've got to make the right call.
I made the right call.
It's not that kind of call. I'm talking about the professionals at Gage Telephone. From excellent products like Toshiba to great service after the sale, make the right call. Gage Telephone, 753-4243.
State Farm agents Joe Skabinski in Baton Rouge and Tommy DeSormo in Lafayette are there for you. Call today.
As a designer here at Bassett, I've helped all kinds of people find the custom furniture they really want. Beautiful fabrics and leathers? Got 'em. A choice of finishes? Sure. The best color combos? No problem. Whatever you're looking for, I can help you find it, and we'll have it ready in 30 days. Custom furniture from Bassett. It's a great way to make your home your own.
A sports injury can put you out of action. But your game's not over because you drafted the right team. At the Bone and Joint Clinic, you're treated by experts in sports medicine, experienced therapists and staff, and the latest equipment and services in a comfortable environment where you're treated like family because we want to see you suit up again. The Bone and Joint Clinic.
Check out the website lafootballmagazine.com.store. We're already working on the 2012 issue. We have the information. It's just you don't want to print it too fast because you have 4 months to go and kids eat a hamburger or two and the weights change, and you want to please all the moms and dads. You want to please the coaches because coaches will tell you that in May they might weigh 180 and come August they might weigh 205. Right?
We hope that some of them do for sure.
Kind of like the Dan Gaze that went off to Baylor that ballooned up to 305 a muscle, correct, Shane?
Yeah, yeah, he was a basketball player only up until his senior year, and he came out for football, and next thing you know, he signs with Baylor, and now he's in the NFL.
Talk about the upcoming team. You've got another really good team. We've always, you know,
we hope it's going to be a really good team.
I'm not going to overpump them,
okay.
But I know that you'll have a competitive team every year. Your kids are in a system that, and we were talking about this off the air, Coach Savoie, is that you play a lot of kids. You play a lot of kids on special teams that aren't necessarily starters on offense and defense, and then they move up in like a college system when you watch a college program. That's how I kind of look at STM when I watch your team, is that you might have a second-team linebacker that doesn't get a lot of reps as a linebacker as a junior, but he gets a lot of reps on special teams if he's really going at it hard, and then you move him in at 1 year and he's ready to go, hopefully.
That's right.
Hopefully.
You know, we try and bring our kids along, and then of course they get a lot of JV experience, and you know, they get a lot of coaching on the field, you know, playing scout teams and stuff for us. So you know, we try and develop our players so that when their time comes, they're going to be ready. And we've got a lot of kids that their time comes as a senior. And hopefully, you know, that they're going to be ready to step up and fill those big shoes.
The biggest thing is the JV, playing a full JV schedule, and that's one of the things we benefit from in high school is the ability to, by the time a kid plays his senior year, he's had the opportunity to play 2 full seasons in JV football.
Yeah, but I want to really give you a big comment as far as, you know, what a great job you do, Coach, is that you're always replacing, it seems, 14 or 15 starters off of the team before, the year before. You seem to have at least 15 new starters, it seems, every year.
Well, that's true. Now, one place where we're not going to have a new starter this year is a quarterback, because we've got Brandon Bergeron back, and he'll be the first 3-year starter that we've had returning at that position, I know.
And I love Brandon, watching your quarterback for the last 3 years. You know, Jamie Howard was your first D1 quarterback, go to LSU. He was one of the top 5 players in the state.
Absolutely.
I agree with you.
Jerry Babb, Mikey Matuk,
Tadford,
Jeffries.
I agree, and Hunley and all those guys.
John Tugg, yeah.
But the thing is I think, and I'm glad, and you even agreed with me, that he's probably the most talented, potentially, quarterback that you've had.
You know, he just does a great job of playing the position. He's smart with the game. He understands the game. He's smart with the football. He's very accurate. He has a strong arm, but it's his accuracy, his ability to get the ball distributed in the right place, and how quick he's able to get rid of it. Plus his composure during the ball game. He's just got a great demeanor for the game of football in that position.
I want to mention this, is that, you know, some of the guys, you replace Angel, your deep snapper, who you have to replace, your Don Oliver, your kicker, who didn't sign yet, colleges, D1 leg, unsigned, and then you've got Beckwith, you got to replace at D-line. You've got Jordan Murray, you got to replace at tight end. You got your big 6'4" tackle that's going to McNeese. You've got 3 running backs. Juno you lost.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of kids to replace. So with that being said, what looks like the strength coming back? Would it be receiver? As far as experience?
Well, I think we've got a few receivers that played a lot for us last year, because early in the season, Andrew had a leg injury, and he had to sit out for a few ball games, and so we were able to get some of these other kids into ball games, and they did a very remarkable job of stepping in and filling those shoes. So Seth Kelly, whose brother Lance was a big player for UL this year, Seth Kelly did a fine job for us. Jake Juno, John's brother, had a fine season. And then we had KJ, Kendall Johnson, who stepped up as a sophomore last year and showed us that he could play in pressure situations. So
and you got to replace Matthew Flores.
Yeah, we do have to replace Matthew Flores, and hopefully we've got another Matt Gumpert, who's going to step up and I think give us some good playing at running back. We've got Grant Dozier and T. Shinavere, you know, so we've got some other guys that have been waiting for their opportunity.
Yeah.
Is T number 49?
Yes. I mean, the good news is all the guys you just mentioned that were leaving, we were talking about them the year before about being first-time starters. So it's nothing new for our program.
We have a caller. Donald, do you have a question? You're on Louisiana Football Magazine. Donald? Yeah, go ahead with your question.
Yeah, Coach Hightower.
Yes.
Coach Hightower, I've watched you coach, and I love the game of football. And I'm a native of Franklin.
Oh, yeah.
And Lafayette here is new to me, and I've been here about 19 years. And you seem to be, you know, one of the biggest, I'll say the granddaddy of them all when it comes down to high school football. And I was just curious, would you coach on another level? Because I've seen you taking kids and make them out of nothing and make them football players.
Well, I appreciate that, and you know, I really feel like my calling is in high school ball where I am. You know, I've experienced college football at LSU as a GA, and you know, I like seeing the kids grow up and seeing them develop as high school players, and you know, plus I like being able to go home and sleep in my own bed at night. I might get there late, but at least I'm going home, you know.
The recruiting part of travel.
The recruiting part is different, right?
Yeah, but I would like to see you, you know, like one day really win it in the dome.
Well, I would like that too, you know. How about next year? Is that good enough?
Yeah.
Well, I know you have some bad boys. I remember that running back, Tuchek.
Yes.
And Tuchek was a hell of an athlete.
He was a great player for us.
I've always asked about him, wanted to meet him, but I never really met him nowhere, you know, because he was another Keelan Williams. Boy, the boy was a hawk.
Sure was.
Yeah,
He was a good player.
I mean, my took, him and I used to compete.
Oh,
I was Perry Stevenson's stepdad. And I've met a lot of coaches in Bryson Northwine, but the game of football, you the granddaddy. I don't care what nobody says.
I appreciate that. I love the game.
All right, thank you for your call. Before you go, coaches, I've got some gifts for you when you're in town for the Coaches Convention. I know that you come in every year for the high school convention. A T-shirt from me, from our magazine, Shane, Coach Savoy, and also Rufino's and Superior Grill gift certificates.
Oh, great.
Wow. Okay,
well, we
so
appreciate that, Lee. And you know what else we appreciate? We appreciate what you do for football in Louisiana, and especially for high school football. You're a great supporter of high school football, and what this show does, I think, is great in promoting the talent that we have in Louisiana. We got an awful lot to be proud of in Louisiana football.
Well, thank you, Coach. And look, I also say, I know you're going to go to the Dome. It's coming. It's going to happen. And I know when you get
I go every year.
Right.
One of these years, I'm going to bring my team with me.
Your team will be in the Dome, and having coaches like Savoy on your staff and the other assistants, Coach. Here's the certificates.
Okay. Thank you.
And good luck to you this year again.
Appreciate it.
St. Thomas More, Coach Hightower, and Coach Savoy. We'll be back with Ron Roberts, the new head football coach for the Southeastern Lions in Hammond, Louisiana. We'll introduce his offense and defensive coordinators. We can't talk recruits, but we can talk recruiting. We'll see you in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Joe Martin, president of ITI Technical College. And for over 35 years, ITI has been a leader in technical education here in Baton Rouge.
ITI's medical division offers hands-on training in 3 new medical programs: medical billing and coding, medical management, and medical assistant. ITI offers flexible class schedules, and financial aid is available.
So let ITI help you discover a better life. Call now or go online. It's that simple.
ITI for a better life.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat everyone from Grand Slam hitters to grandparents. Now with 7 locations to serve you. If your doctor recommends physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, the physical therapy choice of baseball players, grandparents, and everyone in between.
Arrive to the game in style in a new or certified Peretti family vehicle.
Jaguar, with timeless elegance, is the sportiest, sexiest luxury automobile on the road. Land Rover is rough enough for all your hunting needs, yet refined enough to deserve valet parking. Mazda will connect you with your inner driver at a whole new level of intensity.
Remember, it's not whether you win or lose, it's how you get to the game. Peretti, Jaguar, Land Rover, Mazda, Baton Rouge, New Orleans.
Louisiana Office Supply is the largest stocking office product store in the South with a new 23,000 square foot showroom. For over 72 years, Louisiana Office Supply has met the demand for quality office products competitively priced with an extensive selection and knowledgeable staff. From office furniture to Post-it notes, there are supplies for every part of your office. Louisiana Office Supply, generation after generation, exceptional service since 1936.
If you're looking for the gear you need in the colors you bleed, then make your first stop Co-op. Much more than just a bookstore, Co-op has the largest selection of LSU merchandise for the whole family, including tailgating supplies, LSU clothing and accessories, great gifts, and a whole lot more. Stop in or order online for the best prices on art supplies, school supplies, and textbooks. The Co-op Bookstore, where you'll always find the gear you need in the colors you bleed.
Hey, we're back with Southeastern football coaches. Before we put the camera on Ron Roberts, the new head coach, we've got 2 assistant coaches that he brought along as offensive coordinator and his defensive coordinator. Tonight, my goal was to promote the new staff in Hammond, Louisiana, a 1AA, Subdivision 1A, right? That's the new, I'll still say 1AA, but Subdivision 1. Strawberry Stadium's a great place to play. I always found that Southeastern's between New Orleans and Baton Rouge for a lot of good recruits. And then Lafayette, you know, just along the street to go hit Lafayette in South Louisiana. So, Coach Roberts, Appreciate you having you
thank you for having
on the show. Can you introduce your two big-time assistant coaches here tonight?
Yeah. This is Pete Golding, our defensive coordinator. This is Greg Stevens, our offensive coordinator.
And Greg, originally from Utah.
Yes, sir.
You said you're not a huge BYU fan or a big Utah. You were at Utah State, right?
Yeah, I coached at Utah State for 4 years. So when you coach there, you tend to not be a very big BYU Utah fan.
I've got to ask you this, and then we'll get back to Southeastern. Quarterback you at BYU, Jim McMahon, all the great quarterbacks that have come out of there. Who was your favorite BYU quarterback out of the 10 first-round pick quarterbacks?
Jim McMahon, best one too. He's probably the best one. And you know, the coaches there will tell you he's probably the best athlete. They're probably better athlete than Steve Young before he tore his ACL too. You know, his I think sophomore year.
I never understood, though, Jim didn't fit BYU, though. The bandana and the pros and the...
Well, he's Catholic, going
from
to
New
a Mormon
Jersey,
school.
right?
No, he's from Utah. He's from Utah, but he's Catholic, you know, going to the Mormon school, so that's probably why he didn't fit in real well.
Yeah, and Pete Golden, you're a Hammond native.
Yes, sir.
Played in Hammond High.
Yes, sir.
Was at Delta State with Coach prior?
Mm-hmm.
I used to email back and forth. I just knew you as Coach Golding. There's a lot of coaches that email. Any recruits in Louisiana, can you help me with some guys? And you know, you get to know those emails. But I know that for years that we would email back and forth or phone calls.
And you helped me out a bunch. I appreciate it.
Signed one of your players from your old high school this year.
Austin Miller, quarterback. So I got a bunch of guys in the local area that we're really excited about. So,
Coach, you were late getting the job. When I say late, you didn't have 6 months to recruit or 2 years to establish relationships with recruits. But you did get the linebacker locally from Mamie. We can talk about signees. Juwan Rogers.
Juwan Rogers, yeah.
Big-time player. Quarterback from Hammond High, Austin Miller. Quarterback from Kentwood, Harlan Miller. It's going to play an athletic position for you. The quarterback at Live Oak, Cole LeBlanc. Might be a free safety for you.
Graves.
Joe Graves from Covington High School.
Derek Robinson down from
Destrehan.
Yeah.
Derek, I thought, was one of these 5'11", great feet guys for you that can come in and help you. And then Joe, and I know you agree with me on this, but 6'2", 290, strong.
Yeah, he's 320 now.
320.
Yeah.
Still moves well, though?
He moves well, yeah. He was 320 when he came on his crew visit.
So, but that being said, all these local guys, I know you stayed near that area, being with a short time to recruit. You could tell that you want to recruit Louisiana, and we're going to take a break and hold the thought of reminding me to ask you about Louisiana, but then we're going to go into your program.
Okay.
We're going to talk about Southeastern, your background coming from Delta State, and your coaching background and your playing background, just so people get to know you tonight on Louisiana Football TV Magazine. We're going to take that break. Don't turn the channel. We'll come back with more with Coach Ron Roberts and his assistant coaches from the Southeastern Lion football team in Hammond, Louisiana.
State Farm agents Joe Skabinski in Baton Rouge and Tommy DeSormo in Lafayette are there for you. Call today.
If you're looking for the gear you need in the colors you bleed, then make your first stop Co-op. Much more than just a bookstore. Co-op has the largest selection of LSU merchandise for the whole family, including tailgating supplies, LSU clothing and accessories, great gifts, and a whole lot more. Stop in or order online for the best prices on art supplies, school supplies, and textbooks. The Co-op Bookstore, where you'll always find the gear you need in the colors you bleed.
Park Lane Boutique. You should feel comfortable, confident, and beautiful here or wherever your travels may take you. At Park Lane Boutique, we believe it's all about genuine customer service while working with classic, timeless modern fashion.
Hi, I'm Joe Martin, president of ITI Technical College. And for over 35 years, ITI has been a leader in technical education here in Baton Rouge.
ITI's medical division offers hands-on training in 3 new medical programs: medical billing and coding, medical management, and medical assistant. ITI offers flexible class schedules, and financial aid is available.
So let ITI help you discover a better life. Call now or go online. It's that simple.
ITI for a better life.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat everyone from three-point shooters to three-piece suits, now with 7 locations to serve you. If your doctor recommends physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, the physical therapy choice of basketball players, businessmen, and everyone in between.
Check out the website, lafootballmagazine.com.store. You can pre-order the 012 now. We're actually writing it as we speak. And I'm also, in about a week on the website, I'm going to have all the signees from Louisiana. And I think Coach Hightower and Coach Savoie love this, and Coach Ron, is that we're going to have guys that signed a month after signing day that you don't ever see in the paper, statewide, which would be another 100 kids that are D2, D3, NAI, and junior colleges. And we'll break those down. Right now, we're up to over 500 kids that have signed from D1 to NAIA and junior college. 500 kids with 300 high schools in the state of Louisiana. Unbelievable. This is not Houston, Texas. This is not Los Angeles, California. This is not Fresno, Coach, where you're from originally, right?
Yeah, that area, yeah. I'm originally from Visalia, California.
Tell everybody where you played college ball and where you grew up.
Here we go. Well, I grew up in Visalia, California. It's in the San Joaquin Valley. You mentioned Fresno. It's outside of Fresno, and I went and played junior college ball, and then I went to University of Tennessee at Martin.
Okay.
And then kind of spent my 20 years of coaching, kind of been in the South, and coaching from anywhere from started out in high school, was head high school coach, and been Carolina, Tennessee, Texas.
What do you think of all the places that you've lived and coached, being from California? What do you think of the South and the seriousness of their football, like a religion here?
Yeah, no doubt. Obviously football is very important, and just love being out here in the South, and obviously that's one of the things that attracted me to Southeastern was just the idea of getting in a hotbed, especially Louisiana really is a heart and the hotbed of recruiting and the talent and the quality of high school coaching goes on here. That you're really sitting in a great recruiting area.
Now you're the head coach at Delta State prior to coming to Southeastern,
right?
In the state of Mississippi. You went against some of these Southland Conference teams.
Right.
That you're about to face, so you're familiar with the conference.
Well, yeah, I'm familiar with the conference. I mean, I was the defensive coordinator in the conference in 02. I think that's what it was, in 02 at Texas State. I mean, 03 at Texas State, and then at Delta State we played Northwestern State last year, and then we played Texas State, and we played Stephen F. Austin at their place, and so I'm very familiar with the conference.
I want to ask you this. I mean, what position did you play in college? What position?
I played linebacker. Yeah.
And most college coaches, you see them, whatever position they played and coached, that's their position that they tend to coach more of at practice. Do you agree with me?
Well, I've been a linebacker coach majority of my career, linebacker, defensive coordinator, majority of my career. So yeah. You kind of always find myself walking that way in the middle of practice and trying to listen to that part of it.
So you're a defensive guy.
I'm a defensive guy, yeah.
And you've got your offensive coordinator here, as a coach, some coaches like to be involved in the offense, some don't, some have, they just do the defense. What is your philosophy as the head guy? Do you have that where you want to be involved in the offense, or you?
No, I'm not going to get involved in play. I'm not going to get involved actually play calling on either side of it.
Yeah.
The things we talk about is usually in the off season or things we look at and hire them to do a job, and they're both very good at what they do. And I'm there to maybe bounce ideas off of and those type of things. And if there's something I don't like or the structure we're going, but I'm not going to get on the line and call plays because I'm not spending, honestly, at this level, I'm not spending as much time in the film room as they are. Yeah. But we're going to cover game plans and things like that. Throughout the week, and I know what's going on.
You have a tough schedule this coming year.
Yeah.
You play Missouri. I'm not talking about Missouri Southern or Missouri State. You're playing Missouri of the Big 12 on the road. It's a good exposure for your team, your program, but What's your thoughts about the Missouri game?
Well, I'm excited. I think that playing those type of games, you know, I think anytime you get at this, you play up. When I was in Division II, we like to play up. You know, I think the opportunity to play in that environment is going to be outstanding for our players. I think the opportunity for us to evaluate our players against hopefully the best talent we're going to see all season long. I think it gives you a heck of a measuring stick when you talk about the tempo you're going to see the game played at. And it's a chance for our marquee player, our guys that think that they're next level guys, a chance to show your stuff then. If you really think that's what you're capable of, then it's time for you to perform.
And I'll check the last time the enrollment, when you look at all the colleges in Louisiana, Southeastern is almost second in enrollment right now for students in the state of Louisiana.
No doubt. Yeah, we're the third largest school in the state of Louisiana, and there's a lot of great things going on over there in Hammond, and those are things that obviously we want to make sure in the next couple of years that recruiting-wise, and we're getting out, and we want to spread the secret and make sure it's not a hidden secret for the state of Louisiana.
Strawberry Stadium's a beautiful place. The facilities have really improved over the years in Hammond. You have a lot of alumni here in Baton Rouge that watch this show. Anything you want to say to the alumni coming in, brand new coach at Southeastern, about the fans for this coming season?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot of things we're trying to do. Hopefully, I have a vision of what I want the football program to look like, and I think we need the things that we want to create there. And first thing we talk about is we want to create an environment on Saturday afternoons as good as anywhere in the country and on Saturday football, and that does with our alumni having to come out to the games and support it, and want the student body to get behind us. And we know we got to put a winner on a football field to create the great environment to top it off. But we want those people all to come out there and get involved and have a great place for them to come play, to come observe a college football game on Saturday and see a great football team and a great product on the field.
I want to get everything out. We got 2 minutes left, but your coordinators.
Talk fast.
We just won't keep them long, but let's talk about who wants to go first, O or D, about the what kind of defense we're going to run, what kind of offense we're going to run. Who wants to go first?
We're an odd man front. We base that with 3-3 personnel. We're a pressure style defense. We even wrecking havoc. We're going to put a lot of speed on the field. Both man pressure and zone pressure, and we're normally very exciting to watch.
Coach,
offensively, we're going to be a pro-style offense, and we also do some spread stuff, but we're going to be very exciting and hopefully put up a lot of points.
Going into, you've had short time with the team. You didn't go through spring yet. Right. What do you see as the strengths, and what do you see as something that you need to work on coming in as the new head coach of Southeastern?
Well, I think that one of the strengths is, I think we've got some quality kids, quality players, young men that are thirsting for knowledge, they're thirsting to win, they're starving for it, and that's the first thing. First thing you got to have is a desire to get things done. And I see that all there. They've done a great job of taking everything we've given into them so far. Things we got to work on. One is making sure that we are paying the price to win. We're doing all the things that we have to do between now and September to win, and it's about changing a lot of attitudes, not just the environment. We've got to change attitudes within the program and outside the program, and make sure we expect to win. There's no reason why we shouldn't be in the top. After you go LSU, why can't we be in that group of the next 3 or 4 colleges in this state?
We're running out of time, but Southland Conference, one of the best 1AA conferences in the United States, with Nicholls State, McNeese State, Northwestern State, and all those Texas schools. So the good thing about a recruit, you can play close to home if you go to Southeastern, and all your road games are close to home in Texas, Louisiana. Coach, thank you for being on tonight.
Thank you.
Coaches, we got gift certificates for you after the show and T-shirts. Wish you best of luck. Go undefeated next year in conference play, and we'll see you next week. We've got some big-time guests again. We want to thank everybody for being on tonight. We'll see you next week.